Imagine two people standing at the base of a mountain, both with the same goal of reaching the peak. One believes that success is reserved for the lucky and the naturally gifted, while the other sees the climb as a challenge that can be tackled step by step. This difference in mindset alone determines who will take that first step, who will keep going when the terrain gets rough, and who will ultimately reach the top. Small shifts in thinking can completely transform the way we approach life. Take Thomas Edison, for example. He famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That perspective turned what most people would consider failure into valuable lessons, allowing him to persist where others might have given up. Imagine applying that to your own life, whether it's learning a new skill, building a business, or improving relationships. Instead of seeing setbacks as signs to stop, they become stepping stones forward. Success isn't reserved for a chosen few. If you look at the most successful people in any field, they aren't always the most talented or the luckiest. They are the ones who have built habits that support their goals and a mindset that keeps them moving forward. Think about someone like J.K. Rowling. Her manuscript was rejected multiple times before Harry Potter became a global phenomenon. The difference wasn't luck. It was her belief in her work and her refusal to quit. It all comes down to the small, daily choices we make. The way we talk to ourselves when we face a challenge, the way we respond to failure, and the habits we commit to every day. All of these shape our future. Imagine you're driving to an important meeting when suddenly you hit a massive traffic jam. You have two choices: sit there, frustrated, complaining about the traffic, or quickly find an alternate route and keep moving. This is exactly how successful people approach challenges in life. They don't waste time focusing on the problem itself. They immediately start looking for solutions. Take Elon Musk, for example. When faced with production delays at Tesla, he didn't just complain about bottlenecks. He slept on the factory floor, identified inefficiencies, and made adjustments in real time. Instead of being paralyzed by obstacles, he tackled them head on with creative problem solving. On a smaller scale, consider a student struggling with a difficult subject. One approach is to say, "I'm just not good at this," and give up. The other is to ask, "What resources can help me understand this better?" Whether it's finding a tutor, watching online tutorials, or breaking the material into smaller, manageable parts. A simple mindset shift can make all the difference. Instead of saying, "I don't have enough time," ask, "How can I make better use of the time I do have?" Instead of thinking, "I don't know how to do this," ask, "Who can teach me?" One powerful habit is to reframe every complaint into a question. The next time something goes wrong, try shifting from frustration to problem solving. If your business isn't growing, instead of thinking, "Why am I failing?" ask, "What strategy haven't I tried yet?" If you're struggling with fitness, replace "Why can't I lose weight?" with "What daily habit can I change to make progress?" This approach turns obstacles into stepping stones. Challenges become opportunities for growth instead of reasons to quit. The moment you train your brain to focus on solutions, you start unlocking possibilities you never saw before. A child learning to ride a bike will fall multiple times before getting it right. If they believed they simply weren't meant to ride, they would stop trying. But with each attempt, they gain better balance, improve coordination, and eventually master it. This is how a growth mindset works. The belief that skills and intelligence can be developed through effort, not just natural talent. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team, but instead of seeing it as proof he wasn't good enough, he used it as motivation to train harder. He later became one of the greatest players of all time. The same pattern shows up in every field. People who succeed aren't necessarily the most gifted. They are the ones who believe in continuous improvement and put in the work. Shifting to a growth mindset can change how you approach challenges. Someone struggling with public speaking might say, "I'm just not good at this," while a growth-oriented person would say, "I can get better with practice." That simple shift in thinking makes a huge difference in how much effort someone is willing to put in. One way to build this mindset is by adding the word "yet" to your self-talk. "I can't do this" becomes "I can't do this yet," turning a limitation into a work in progress. Another powerful habit is seeking feedback instead of avoiding it. The best athletes, musicians, and business leaders actively look for ways to improve because they see criticism as a tool for growth rather than a personal attack. This approach applies to anything: learning a new skill, starting a business, or even improving relationships. Intelligence and ability are not fixed traits. They are built through consistent effort, learning from mistakes, and adapting along the way. A college student preparing for exams has two choices: spend the evening watching their favorite show or study for a few hours. One choice brings immediate pleasure, while the other builds towards a bigger goal. This is the constant battle between short-term gratification and long-term success. Successful people understand that real achievement doesn't happen overnight. They prioritize long-term growth over quick wins, even when it's difficult. Think of an athlete training for the Olympics. Waking up at 5 a.m. for daily workouts, following a strict diet, and sacrificing social outings aren't easy choices, but they're necessary to reach the ultimate goal. They resist short-term pleasures because they know the long-term reward is far greater. Investing is another perfect example. Someone who spends their entire paycheck on instant pleasures, fancy dinners, new gadgets, and impulse buys might enjoy the moment but struggle financially later. Meanwhile, someone who saves and invests consistently may not see immediate results, but over years, their money compounds, creating financial freedom. Warren Buffett started investing as a child, and his wealth didn't explode overnight. It grew through decades of smart, disciplined decisions. A simple way to train yourself to think long term is by using the 10-10-10 rule. Before making a decision, ask, how will I feel about this in 10 minutes, 10 months, 10 years? This forces you to step back and see the bigger picture rather than just the immediate moment. Another strategy is to reframe discomfort as progress. When working on a major goal, whether it's fitness, a career, or a personal project, there will be moments when quitting feels tempting. Instead of viewing sacrifice as suffering, see it as a sign that you're building something bigger. Just like a bodybuilder feels soreness after a tough workout, short-term struggles are proof that growth is happening. Most people overestimate what they can accomplish in a week, but underestimate what they can achieve in 5 years. The key is making small, consistent choices that compound over time. Every decision, what you eat, how you spend your time, where you focus your energy, either moves you closer to your long-term vision or keeps you stuck chasing temporary comfort. When something goes wrong, most people look for someone or something to blame: the economy, their upbringing, bad luck, or even other people. But successful individuals take full responsibility for their lives, regardless of the challenges they face. They don't waste time complaining about things they can't control. They focus on what they can do. Take Oprah Winfrey, for example. She grew up in poverty, faced personal hardships, and encountered countless obstacles on her journey. She could have blamed her circumstances and accepted a life of struggle. Instead, she took ownership of her future, worked relentlessly, and built a media empire. Her success wasn't handed to her. It was the result of her decisions, mindset, and actions. This applies to everyday situations too. Imagine two employees who get passed over for a promotion. One blames their boss, their coworkers, or office politics, while the other asks, "What skills do I need to improve? How can I add more value?" The first person stays stuck in frustration, while the second takes control of their growth. The difference isn't the situation, it's the mindset. A simple way to practice this is by replacing blame with action. The next time something doesn't go as planned, instead of saying, "It's not my fault," try asking, "What can I do differently next time?" This shift turns setbacks into learning experiences rather than roadblocks. Another strategy is keeping a responsibility journal. At the end of each day, write down one situation where you could have reacted differently or taken more control. Over time, this habit builds self-awareness and reinforces the idea that you shape your own outcomes. People who take full responsibility understand that while they can't control everything that happens, they can control how they respond. The moment you stop blaming external factors, you take back your power to change your life. The people you spend the most time with shape your mindset, habits, and ultimately, your success. If you've ever been around someone who constantly complains, doubts themselves, or makes excuses, you've probably felt how draining it can be. On the other hand, being around ambitious, positive people can push you to think bigger, work harder, and believe in yourself more. Look at any successful person, and you'll see they didn't do it alone. Steve Jobs had mentors like Robert Noyce, who helped him navigate the business world. Serena Williams had her father coaching her from an early age, and even after becoming one of the greatest athletes in the world, she still surrounded herself with top trainers and competitors to keep growing. The right influences don't just support you, they challenge you to be better. Think about someone who wants to start a business. If they spend time with people who say, "That's too risky," or "most businesses fail," they'll likely hesitate or give up. But if they're surrounded by entrepreneurs who share strategies, offer encouragement, and push them forward, they'll gain the confidence and knowledge to keep going. One way to actively shape your environment is by seeking out mentors, people who have already achieved what you're working toward. Even if you don't have direct access to them, you can still learn from their books, podcasts, or online courses. Another strategy is a social audit. Take a moment to reflect on the 5 people you spend the most time with. Are they lifting you up or holding you back? If you realize your circle is filled with negativity, start making intentional choices to connect with people who inspire and challenge you. Even small shifts can make a huge difference. Joining a mastermind group, networking with like-minded individuals, or simply following successful people online can change the way you think. The more you surround yourself with positive influences, the more you naturally adopt their mindset, habits, and drive. 2 people can look at the same situation and see it completely differently. One sees what's missing, what's unfair, and what's not going their way. The other sees opportunities, lessons, and the good that already exists. The difference isn't their circumstances, it's their mindset. People who practice gratitude and abundance thinking train themselves to focus on what they have rather than what they lack. This doesn't mean ignoring challenges or pretending life is perfect. It means choosing to shift perspective. Take someone like Jim Carrey. Before he became a famous actor, he wrote himself a check for $10 million for acting services rendered and carried it in his wallet, visualizing success even when he was broke and struggling. That belief in abundance helped him keep pushing forward until he made it a reality. Gratitude is a daily habit for many successful people. Oprah Winfrey, for example, has kept a gratitude journal for years, writing down things she's thankful for each day. This simple practice rewires the brain to recognize positive moments, no matter how small. Studies even show that people who regularly practice gratitude sleep better, feel happier, and handle stress more effectively. A great way to build this habit is through the 3 things exercise. Every morning or before bed, list 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be big. It could be as simple as a good conversation, a meal you enjoyed, or a lesson learned from a challenge. Over time, this shifts your focus from scarcity to abundance. Another powerful mindset shift is replacing thoughts like "I'll be happy when" with "I appreciate what I have now." Many people fall into the trap of thinking happiness will come after they achieve a certain goal: more money, a better job, a different relationship. But those with an abundance mindset find reasons to be grateful in the present, which ironically attracts even more success. What you focus on expands. When you focus on what's missing, you feel stuck. But when you train yourself to notice what's going well, you create momentum, confidence, and more opportunities. Change is inevitable, but how people respond to it determines their success. Some resist it, clinging to old habits and familiar routines, while others embrace it as a chance to grow. The most successful people don't fear change, they see it as an opportunity. Take Netflix as an example. In the early 2000s, it was a DVD rental company competing with Blockbuster. When streaming technology emerged, Netflix adapted, shifting its entire business model. Blockbuster, on the other hand, refused to change, believing customers would always prefer physical rentals. The result? Netflix thrived, while Blockbuster faded into history. The lesson is clear: those who adapt survive, while those who resist get left behind. This applies on a personal level too. Think about someone who loses their job unexpectedly. One person might see it as a disaster, focusing on the loss and uncertainty. Another might view it as an opportunity to explore a new career path, start a business, or learn a new skill. The situation is the same, but the mindset determines the outcome. A simple way to develop adaptability is by asking, what is this change making possible? Instead of focusing on what's lost, shift attention to new opportunities. Another strategy is building a habit of learning. The world is evolving rapidly, and those who stay curious and open to new knowledge will always have an edge. Whether it's learning a new technology, developing a new skill, or shifting perspectives, staying adaptable means staying relevant. Even in everyday life, small shifts in thinking can make a big difference. If plans suddenly change, instead of feeling frustrated, ask, how can I make the best of this? Training the mind to see change as a doorway to something new rather than a roadblock keeps you moving forward. When you can see your success in your mind before it happens, you begin to align your actions, emotions, and energy with that vision. Successful people know this power and use it to their advantage. They don't just wish for success, they truly believe in it, and they visualize it happening every step of the way. Take the example of Arnold Schwarzenegger. Before becoming a bodybuilding champion, he pictured himself on stage, winning trophies, long before he achieved it. He mentally rehearsed every move, every moment, and visualized the victory so vividly that it became a part of his reality. This kind of mental rehearsal doesn't just create a vision, it fuels the drive to make it happen. The power of visualization is not just about dreaming, it's about building a mental image of what success looks like and using that image to push forward. Imagine you're preparing for an important presentation. Instead of worrying about mistakes or doubts, visualize yourself confidently speaking, engaging the audience, and receiving praise afterward. This mental exercise trains your brain to react positively when you face the real situation. A practical way to practice visualization is by using a vision board. This is a physical representation of your goals, pictures, quotes, and reminders of what you're working toward. When you see these images every day, they reinforce the belief that success is possible and already on its way. Another technique is to mentally rehearse your success. Before tackling a big challenge, close your eyes and imagine yourself overcoming every obstacle smoothly. Picture the feelings of pride and accomplishment once you achieve your goal. The more you visualize your success, the more your mind begins to believe it's not only possible, but inevitable. Believing in your vision is key to staying motivated through tough times. Every setback becomes a temporary challenge, not a failure. When you can clearly picture where you want to go and truly believe in that vision, obstacles seem smaller and your resolve gets stronger. Your mind and actions align to turn that vision into reality. Failure isn't something to be feared or avoided. It's a natural part of growth. Successful people don't see failure as a dead end, but as a valuable lesson. They understand that every setback is a piece of feedback that can guide them towards success. Instead of being paralyzed by failure, they use it as a tool to refine their strategies, sharpen their skills, and get closer to their goals. Take the story of Thomas Edison. When he was inventing the light bulb, he went through thousands of failed attempts. He didn't see these failures as reasons to stop. He saw them as steps closer to finding the right solution. He famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Each failure was not a mark of defeat, but a lesson that helped him improve his design until he finally succeeded. In everyday life, think about someone learning a new skill, like playing the guitar. At first, their fingers might hurt and they might struggle with chords. If they gave up after every mistake, they'd never get better. But if they view each mistake as a part of the process and keep practicing, they eventually become proficient. The same principle applies to anything: a new job, a business venture, or a fitness goal. Failure is just part of the learning curve. One way to embrace this mindset is by adopting the fail fast, fail forward philosophy. Instead of dragging your feet or delaying action out of fear of failure, take quick action and learn from your mistakes along the way. Each failure moves you closer to success because you're gaining critical insights with each step. Another technique is to reframe failure. When something doesn't go as planned, rather than thinking, I failed, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? What can I do differently next time? This shifts your focus from self-criticism to growth, turning failures into powerful stepping stones. Successful people don't run from failure, they embrace it. The key is not to view failure as a permanent state, but as a moment in time that offers valuable insights. The faster you learn from your failures and keep moving forward, the closer you get to achieving your goals. Success is not achieved by one monumental action. It's the result of consistent, everyday choices. The power of small actions lies in their ability to compound over time, creating massive results that might seem impossible at first. People who succeed understand that even tiny steps forward, when taken daily, can add up to something extraordinary. Consider the story of the tortoise and the hare. The hare, confident and fast, takes a break along the way, thinking he's far ahead. Meanwhile, the slow-moving tortoise keeps going, step by step without stopping. Over time, those consistent small steps led the tortoise to victory. This story may be simple, but it's a perfect analogy for the power of consistent action. Think about someone trying to get fit. Instead of committing to an intense workout plan they can't sustain, they focus on doing something small every day, whether it's a 10-minute walk, stretching, or a few push-ups. At first, it seems insignificant, but over a month, then 3 months, their stamina, strength, and confidence grow in ways they didn't anticipate. That's the power of small, consistent efforts. A powerful habit for achieving success is the 2-minute rule. The idea is that any habit, no matter how big, can be broken down into something you can do in 2 minutes. Want to write a book? Start by writing just 2 minutes a day. Want to learn a new language? Spend just 2 minutes on vocabulary. Over time, these small actions build momentum and eventually lead to big results. Another key to consistent action is to focus on process, not just results. When you focus on showing up every day, no matter how small the action, you're building a system that supports success. Instead of worrying about where you are in the process, celebrate that you're moving forward. Small actions build confidence and create positive feedback loops. If you commit to taking small, consistent steps every day, whether in your career, health, relationships, or personal growth, you'll find that the results begin to compound, turning what once seemed like impossible goals into achievable realities. Implementing these habits in your life requires a conscious decision to change your thinking patterns and behaviors. It's about making small, consistent adjustments to how you approach challenges, setbacks, and opportunities. These shifts won't happen overnight, but with persistence and self-awareness, you can begin to see noticeable improvements. Here's how to start. 1. Start with self-awareness. Before you can change your thinking habits, you first need to understand where you currently stand. Take a moment to reflect on your thoughts, reactions, and behaviors. What kind of mindset do you have in difficult situations? Are you focusing on solutions or problems? Do you see challenges as opportunities for growth or as threats? Action step. Spend a week journaling about your reactions to daily challenges. Notice if you're leaning toward a fixed mindset or a growth mindset. Are you embracing feedback or are you defensive? This simple habit helps you recognize patterns and areas for improvement. 2. Break down goals into small steps. Achieving big goals can feel overwhelming, but the key to success is consistency. Break down your long-term goals into small, manageable tasks. Focus on taking action, no matter how small, every day. Action step. Choose one goal you're working toward and break it down into 5 smaller, achievable tasks. Commit to completing one of these tasks each day. By focusing on small actions, you'll build momentum that makes the bigger goals feel more achievable. 3. Embrace the power of habit. Success isn't about making huge changes all at once. It's about creating habits that support your goals. For example, if you want to build a growth mindset, start by adding the word yet to your vocabulary. If you want to practice gratitude, write down 3 things you're thankful for every day. Action step. Pick one new habit to focus on, whether it's practicing gratitude, visualizing success, or setting aside time each day to learn something new. Set a reminder to practice this habit daily and track your progress. 4. Practice delayed gratification. The key to thinking long term is resisting the urge for instant rewards. This can be challenging, but it's a skill that grows with practice. Start by identifying small opportunities where you can delay gratification. Action step. If you're tempted to buy something impulsively, pause and ask yourself if it aligns with your long term goals. If you're faced with a short term decision, like choosing between watching TV or working on your goals, choose the action that supports your future success. 5. Seek out positive influences. Surround yourself with people who lift you up and inspire you to be your best self. This can be done both in person and online. Join communities of like minded individuals who share your goals and values. Action step. Identify at least one mentor or positive influence in your life. It could be someone you already know or someone you connect with online. Make a point to learn from them, whether through reading their work, attending their events, or simply reaching out for advice. 6. Learn from every failure. Instead of viewing failure as a setback, see it as feedback. Understand that every failure is an opportunity to learn and grow. Change your perspective on failure and ask yourself what you can do better next time. Action step. After every mistake or setback, ask, what can I learn from this? What will I do differently moving forward? This mindset shift will make it easier to keep pushing forward, even when things don't go as planned. 7. Visualize your success. Take a few minutes each day to visualize what success looks like for you. Whether it's seeing yourself achieving your career goals, excelling at a sport, or building meaningful relationships, the clearer your vision, the more your actions will align with that outcome. Action step. Each morning or before bed, spend 5 to 10 minutes imagining yourself achieving your biggest goal. Focus on the emotions and sensations you'll feel when you get there. The more you can picture your success, the more likely you are to make decisions that align with it. Consistency is key. Consistency is what transforms habits into results. It's easy to start something new, but the real magic happens when you keep showing up every day, even when you don't feel like it. Make a commitment to practice these habits consistently and remind yourself that small steps lead to big changes over time. Self-awareness and reflection. Regular reflection is crucial for personal growth. Check in with yourself periodically to see how you're progressing. Ask questions like, am I focusing on the right things? Am I staying adaptable when things change? Keep adjusting your approach based on what you've learned and how far you've come. Remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about making progress and staying committed to your growth. These habits are tools you can use to shape your mindset, overcome obstacles, and achieve your goals. Now that you've got some powerful habits to start building, it's time to take action. I encourage you to pick just one or two of these habits to focus on first, whether it's practicing gratitude, taking consistent action, or learning from failure. Start small, stay consistent, and watch how these habits begin to transform your mindset and your life. I'd love to hear from you. Which habit resonated most with you? Drop a comment below and share which one you're excited to start practicing, or if you already have a habit that's been working for you. Let's support each other in this journey toward growth and success. Remember, the moment you shift your thinking, everything begins to change. It's not about making huge leaps all at once. It's about those small, consistent changes that compound over time and completely transform your life. When you change the way you think, you change the way you live. Take it from someone like J.K. Rowling. She went from being a struggling single mom living on welfare to becoming one of the world's most successful authors. But it wasn't magic or luck. It was her unwavering belief in herself, her ability to see failure as a lesson, and her relentless drive to push forward despite the setbacks. She chose to focus on her vision, not on the obstacles. As Tony Robbins says, the only limit to your impact is your imagination and commitment. So, start today. The change you're looking for is within you, waiting to be unlocked through the power of your mindset. You've got this.